Hi everyone, Christina here. We just got done singing at church, and today the choir sang from Psalm 121. I left my King James Version Bible in the car, but I will read from the NLT. And Psalm 121 says, I look up to the mountains. Does any help come from there? My help comes from the Lord, who made heaven and earth. He will not let you stumble. The one who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel never slumbers or sleeps. The Lord himself watches over you. The Lord stands beside you as your protective shade. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life. The Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and forever. Beautiful psalm. In the King James Version, the verse that I want to make reference to today is verse 5, and it says that the Lord will be thy shade on thy right hand. And then verse 6 says, the sun will not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. And you know, every time we've sung this song, I found my mind lingering on that and saying, God, what's that about? Why does one need shade just on their right hand? I need shade on your right hand, you probably need it on all of you. And as I would reflect on this and think, is there a time where I felt my right hand was burning in the sun and I needed shade? Well, the first thing I could think of was a long road trip back home. Now overseas, cars do not have the steering wheel on the left-hand side of the car. We have them on the right-hand side. The right-hand drives. So if you're on a long road trip and you are right-handed, chances are your dominant hand is on top of the steering wheel. You're right beside the window and you're taking the brunt of the sunlight on that hand. In fact, there were times where my arms would be two different shades. I would be looking mocha chocolate, different shades depending on how much exposure each part of my body got to the sun. But as I was reflecting on this, the Lord showed me that in the life and times of David, there were no cars, of course, and almost anything they had to do was done outdoors. Then I remembered, yes, of course, in high school I helped my mom do some farming on small fields outside of the city, 4 hours away. My dad had a little shop out there, so they got some land loaned out to them and we did some farming, and that was the first time I got to do it on a sizable piece of land. And if you're familiar with garden tools, a garden hoe has a long wooden handle. To wield this, especially if the ground's a bit hard and you want to break up that hard ground, you have to use a lot of strength. And your dominant hand is likely to be the one that's furthest along the handle, and the other hand is just probably going to guide the remaining part of the handle that's closer to your body. As we were working, my right hand was always on top, getting burnt in the sun. Can you imagine, whether you're farming, plowing, whatever you're doing, even if you were raking leaves in the yard and you had to use quite a bit of force, your right hand is likely on top again, and that's burning. If you remember any one of those ancient war movies like 300 or Gladiator, perhaps, the men would hold their spears in their right hand, and then the left hand would be behind the straps of a shield. So that was shielded by the shield, which was meant to take the fiery darts from the enemy, right? But this hand was always in the sun. So if you were out there on the battlefield for a long time, this hand was going to be pretty tanned. The Lord to say, I will be thy shade on thy right hand. Whether in work, whether in war, whatever it is you have to do, there won't be the added weight, pain, and burden of the elements on you. I will let you do it with even an additional covering of grace and protection over you. I looked up to see what other scholars make of this verse, and one actually had I guess you could say, a theory that came out of a translation probably closest to this NLT, New Living Translation, I believe that is. They say God himself is your protective shade. He's that close to you. He's casting a shadow on you. He's right by your right hand side. and he's casting his shadow onto you because he's standing that close to you. It sounds nice too, but if something is tall and very big, it can be further away from you and still cast a shadow on you. But I get what they mean by that. I love what the Lord reminded me of, that your right hand can be exposed to the sun, to brutal elements while you're doing what you need to do, even if he's giving you the grace and the favor to excel in those things. He's saying, but on top of that, I will protect you from the sun. I will be thy shade on thy right hand. That's just an extra kiss, an extra layer of kindness, tenderness, and affection and care that the Father has for us. Already he has promised to bless us in our coming in and our going out. Whether we're riding into war, we're riding in with armies, we're the king, we're the horsemen, we are riding into battle. We'll be blessed going in. He says, I'm coming out, we'll be blessed with abundance. We will be not only victorious, but we will even loot like King Jehoshaphat did. We will loot from the enemy. We'll be blessed in our coming into battle and our going out. Whether we're coming into the workplace and we're coming out. We're any place we're going in blessed, but we're coming out even more exceedingly blessed. We will be above and not beneath. We'll be the head and not the tail. We have these blessings. And on top of that, you know what? The sun's going to come up and go down because that's what it does. There's seasons. I put these things in order. But just for you, I'm going to make sure that your right hand doesn't have to stop doing what it needs to do just because it's burning in the sun. I'm going to give you that extra layer of protection. I'm going to be thy shade and thy right hand. That's the loving, kind God we serve. Any other representation of him as anything other than kind, loving, tender-hearted, merciful, abundant in the grace he extends to us, that's off. That's that off. This is the God we serve. May you hold on to that, and if you know the song, go ahead and sing it and let it settle in your heart, and whatever you're going through. And there's a lot of turmoil in the world right now. There's a lot of breaking news going on. But let it be that you sing, that I lift up my eyes to the hills, from whence comes my help. The Lord who made heaven and earth, he shall not slumber nor sleep. Yes, the keeper of Israel does not slumber nor sleep. He shall be shade on my right hand, and the sun shall not smite me by day, nor the moon by night. The elements will not have at me, because I'll be covered by the Lord. And he shall preserve my soul. He shall keep me from all harm, and he shall keep me even forevermore. That's the God we serve. Love you guys. Bye.